said check 1, 2.
President Trump, welcome. This is not officially a televisit, though, as you probably realize, I've done hundreds. But I hope you'll indulge me and let you be the patient, and I'll be the doctor here. And I promise you, no copay.
Okay. Sounds good to me, Mark.
So the first question is what we call the chief complaint, which is, briefly, how are you feeling now?
I feel really good. I feel very strong. I know a lot of people that have had the COVID or the China virus, as I call it, because it came from China. But I feel really, really strong. And a lot of people don't feel that way sometimes for a while afterwards, but very good.
What about symptoms that you had last Friday, like when you went into Walter Reed? What were the two most prominent symptoms that you had?
I think didn't feel strong, didn't feel really strong. I didn't have a problem with breathing, which a lot of people seem to have. I had none of that, but I didn't feel very strong. I didn't feel very vital. I didn't feel like the president of the U.S. should feel. And I knew there was something a little bit off. And the doctors at Walter Reed were incredible. They came from Johns Hopkins. They came from
Mark Conte reporting.
They were really great people.
That is the Trumpster.
You know, Mr. President.
That is the Trumpster on display. Yeah, man, we're going to listen to some Trump, man. We're going to listen to Trump spoo. I don't know when. We're going to listen. What's up, man? What's up, man? Happy Saturday. Happy Saturday. Are you allowed to do that? Are you allowed to do that? Are you allowed to say happy Saturday? Good morning, everybody. Happy Saturday to you. Happy Saturday to you. So a couple of stories. Just a hodgepodge of stories to start off your Saturday with. So Trump, I guess the big story, I don't know, it's a very interesting story with a priest who was doing some naughty on the altar. Oh, man, what a fucking story that is. That shit is dope, man. It's crazy, right? And I guess the biggest story is Trump, Biden, the showdown in Miami. The debate, the master debate has been canceled. Because Biden and the crooked team that assembles the debates said that it has to be remote. They changed the rules amid game. They moved the goalpost on Trump. Now, I believe that more debates is better. I think every time Trump gets in front of the audience and gets in front of Biden, he knocks him down a notch. So let's just listen to. We'll go listen to Trump in his own words. He's talking about the experience of having COVID-19 and beating COVID-19, and what kind of chemicals, what kind of cocktails he took to make that go away. So I think that's a very important interview Fox did on Tucker Carlson, but actually a doctor was asking the question. So look at that. A little update on the how Cuomo is targeting the Jew. Yesterday we did a great video. That was some really good material on how the Hasidic Jews, the Orthodox Jews community in New York is leading the charge to kick ass on all this fake COVID-19 nonsense. They're being squeezed. Their businesses are being shut down, and they've gone as far as calling Cuomo a murderer and such. So we'll look at there's a little update on that one. What else, man? 175 doctors tell commission Biden-Trump debate can be held safely, but that didn't change anything. What else we got? Oh, and the horny priest. Talk a little bit about censorship on, you can't even say that word. If you say that word, everything goes red. We start to buffer when you say the C word. So we'll talk a little bit about the C word as seen through the eyes of Caitlin Johnstone, an author that I like, and we'll just examine some of the fake polls. So thank you, everybody, for joining me. Thank you very, very much. Thank you very much for joining me. And start here. So if you could kindly become a Patreon of this channel, that's how we keep it going. Get your white privilege out of here. It's still the main story. We're still waiting for an answer, by the way, from the New York State Division of Human Rights. If you are listening, We are waiting. We are right about the 6-month mark, which is when the division usually returns a decision. Is it racism? Get your white privilege out of here. Can you say that? Can a black man say that to a white person when he has a uniform on, in a official capacity representing a hospital in Brooklyn? Can he tell a white man to get your white privilege out of here? Could he do it legally without losing his job, without losing anything? We're gonna find out very soon. Kindly become a Patreon of this channel. By clicking join. You hit the join button. You see the hot chick with my old face? Hit that and you become a member for as little as $2 a month. Very, very helpful, very important as we move forward in this censored world, the censored world of censorship, of social media. Or just drop a couple of bucks in the tip jar. You do it there. If ever a video is removed or it disappears and you can't find it, say, hey, you're scratching your head, where's that video? Where's that video that Conte made about that shit? If it's not on YouTube anymore, then just go over here and you click on the BitChute, and we'll catch it up. So let's listen. Let's just look at some breaking news first, and then we'll dive into the Trump. The Trump interview. Trump interview is really good. I didn't think that would be the main story, but we'll do that in a second. So let's start here. So the good morning everybody in the chat. Vinny DiMartini on the wrench. Don't be a dick in the chat. There's no dicks on Saturday. All the dickery is hickory dickory dock is gone. So good morning everybody. Weevil Girls here. Russian Bot Mark II. Jason Walsh. C. Bradley. TJ. Bebop. Bebop, GG. Conte, I can't play. Conte, I think I know Conte, but I can't place him. I grew up in Bensonhurst, Brooklyn. No, I didn't grow up in Bensonhurst. I was only a little boy in Bensonhurst. I grew up in Staten Island, so spent the last 30 years in downtown Manhattan. So I'm really not much of a Brooklyn guy. The only way you would have ever seen me in Brooklyn is walking around looking like this. See my new shirt, by the way? I fucking love this shirt, man. I just got this shit in the mail. I just got this shit. Hare Krishna. Enjoy Hare Krishna. Chant Hare Krishna. You can't believe how good you're going to feel. It's obviously in the image of the Coca-Cola, but I love it, man. Love it, man. That turns some heads, man. People like... You go to like the Bible Belt and you walk around with a Christian shirt, people will fucking spit at you and throw shit at you, right? Because they don't understand what it is. They don't know that all the messiahs are connected and we're striving for the same thing. They don't get that shit. But so here we go. So Andrew Cuomo, the good governor of New York, calls COVID-19 resurgence an ultra-Orthodox Jewish problem. And he said this after the riots, after the Jewish community called him out on it. He doubles down, right? He fucking doubled down, right? So let's read. Governor Andrew Cuomo said the resurgence, after the fact, resurgence of the coronavirus in part of New York's mainly in parts of New York is mainly an ultra-Orthodox Jewish problem. So if you watched the video yesterday, that seems to be incorrect. The elders of the Hasidic community have spoken, and they say that there really is no evidence of high numbers and or high death rate in the ultra-Orthodox communities. So why is Cuomo targeting them? Why is he targeting them? Probably because the Jews are not going to fucking fall in line and vote for your fucking stupid ass, right? They're going to vote for Trump. That's what it's about. That's Cuomo playing politics. Squeeze the Hasids, bring them to their knees maybe and say, okay, well, vote for me or we'll shut down your businesses and we'll say it's COVID. It's fucked up. It's really bad. I mean, it's a really bad thing. So Cuomo, during an interview on CNN Friday morning, was asked about a lawsuit filed by Brooklyn Diocese and a Jewish advocacy group opposing his new COVID-19 safety restrictions on gathering at houses of worship as a violation of religious freedom. So Cuomo has officially been sued by the Hasidic community for violations of religious freedom. Cuomo says the cluster is predominantly an Orthodox Jewish cluster, Cuomo said, referring to the conservatively devout Jewish sector. He says further, this is not a matter of religious freedom. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. You can't shut down houses of worship because of your fucking fake data, your insignificant data, the data that you won't provide to regular people that can't be confirmed using tests that have a 40% inaccuracy rate. What are you, fucking crazy? You're shutting down the Jewish community. Jews are pissed off, man. They're calling it a new Holocaust. Cuomo is, Cuomo. I mean, if you want to call it a Holocaust, Cuomo, how many 11,000 people he killed in nursing homes all over the city by putting COVID-19 infected people inside a nursing home with the most vulnerable citizens, and there's no consequence to that. Right? He's killing people, man. That's like throwing people in the oven. It's literally, right? That's what that shit is, man. So Cuomo's on thin ice, man. Cuomo, but nursing homes all over the city Cuomo is just fucked up, man. Cuomo's getting. What is Cuomo? Cuomo. So there you go. So Jews fight back. Jews are pressing. They're pushing back, man. That's a good thing. Right? So if you haven't heard, Biden-Trump presidential debate in Miami officially canceled. Canceled. Why? Why? Even Trump has said, why? We'll do it outside. Let's have an outside debate. Let's do it on the beach. We'll be 100 feet away from each other. We'll use bullhorns and megaphones. We'll have dueling like as if they're on campaign. As if they're at a rally, their own rally, right? And they can use powered equipment to communicate to each other. And in the video that we're going to watch with Trump speaking, Trump even says it. He says, Joe Biden can't do it. It's hard for him to debate without his teleprompter, without his screen, without his computer screen. Trump is basically saying, if they do a remote debate, I said this yesterday or 2 days ago, Trump is saying, if they do a debate, Biden will cheat by using screens, by being cued about what to say, cheating in the debate. So a fair debate, no mainstream media has even pointed to that fact. Nobody has even mentioned that Joe Biden will cheat if it's a remote thing. So it's canceled. And I don't know. I think it works to Biden's advantage to cancel the debates. Trump should pivot and parlay it into a big rally, make a big deal over Joe Biden's inability to draw a crowd and his reluctance to face his opponent in a debate. Now, again, Trump is the sitting president. He doesn't really have to abide to any of this shit, right? He's the sitting president. He can do whatever he wants. But it does, I think it works to the advantage of Trump to be out in front of people, especially if you're saying that the fake polls are not fake. If you're saying that if Trump is down in the polls, you want to get out in front of the crowd, in front of your opponent and destroy him, chop him down, chop his legs off. No mercy. And that's precisely what the Biden campaign is probably afraid of. So the decision to scrap the second presidential debate in Miami between President Trump and Democratic nominee Joe Biden has been canceled, according to a report. The decision to scrap the October 15th contest in the Sunshine State was made Friday after the commander-in-chief announced he was boycotting the debate when event organizers switched it to a virtual format. The Wall Street Journal has reported. So it's Trump's decision. Trump made the decision to boycott. No, and we've seen videos of this. No, I'm not going to waste my time in a virtual debate, Trump said on Fox Business News Thursday morning. We're already in Saturday. Hours later, Biden campaign announced the former VP would instead spend Thursday night at a solo ABC town hall with voters in Philadelphia, effectively killing the second contest. So Biden is smart to be in Philly. Philadelphia, I think, only won by it only swang red in 2016 by 1% or 2%. Very, very close. Big debate. I mean, if Trump, I'll talk about that later when I get to the fake polling. But if whoever wins Philadelphia, Ohio, Michigan, Wisconsin, quite possibly Florida, is going to win this thing. That's where the how they have Biden winning is beyond me. How does Biden win the Rust Belt? But we'll talk more about that. And of course, ABC will host a town hall for Biden. All the questions will be rigged, right? But so no debate. No debate. The third debate is still on. The one that is scheduled for. I forget where they're going to be. Where's the third debate going to be? I think it's in. Oh fuck! I forgot. Third debate. Where's the third debate? Next presidential debate. It's still on in. Where the hell is that third debate going to be? Third debate. Presidential debate by boom, 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 boom. It's on the 22nd. Anyway, if someone could find out where that third debate is, I'd appreciate that shit, man. Nashville. That's right. Nashville, Tennessee. Hold your fire. Nashville, Tennessee. So the third debate is scheduled for Nashville, Tennessee. We'll still see that one. It's just flipping. This is interesting because I believe in my heart of hearts that so much of the problems that people have with their health in this country and abroad, anything that stems out of Eli Lilly or Schwab or any of these drug manufacturers, they all of these medications have side effects. They set out to do one thing and then cause another. And here's an example. Diabetes drug Metformin recalled due to high levels of cancer-causing agent. So you have diabetes, and you take a medication, and it sort of subsides your diabetes, and instead you get cancer. That's what it says. Right? You get high blood pressure. You see Fatso over here, Chris Christie, still in the hospital. We're going to talk about that in 1 second. Still in the hospital. That's crazy, man, right? That shit is crazy. So I missed a couple. I missed one. Diabetes. Let me just go back here. Just on the note of, and we'll talk about the cancer drug in a second. But on the note of the debates, 175 doctors tell commission Biden-Trump debate in Miami can be held safely. 175 doctors came together, right? So hundreds of physicians have written to the Commission of Presidential Debates saying they believe it's safe for President Trump to participate in a Thursday debate with Joe Biden. So what is the fucking problem? Why are they changing the rules? They're changing the rules because Trump has a supreme advantage. He's just going to talk over people. He's not going to get bullied. He's not going to get condescension is not going to happen if he's standing on the stage. And so, again, rigging the elections. This is part of rigging. Rig the debates so that you cause cause controversy, cause a riff, and say that no, Trump is polluted. Trump has COVID-19. He's diseased. He can't be out in front of people. That's all bullshit, right? So anyway, all the doctors are saying so. So let me flip back to this. The drug manufacturers Marxon Pharma Limited has expanded a recall initially announced in June to now include an additional 76 unexpired lots of the medication. Whew. Wow. So if you're on diabetes medication, Metformin, you've got a problem. Now, there is a cure for diabetes, and you know what it is? It's there's two types of diabetes. There's type 1, which you're essentially born with, and you have it as a kid, but that's also transformable. And the more prevalent, the 80% of it is adult onset, meaning you get fat, you get sloppy, you get stupid, you get drunk, you get high, you get out of shape, and suddenly your pancreas says, "What the fuck is going on here, man? You eat junk food, you eat crap, ice cream and chocolate and candy and sweets and cake and and then all of a sudden one day you're fucking 800, you're 80 pounds, 90, 200 pounds overweight. You're a big fat slob." Someone said in the comments that I'm fat shaming. No, okay, whatever, fat shaming. So you need to be shamed. You need to get your fat belly. It's like what the yoga guy, the Bikram yoga guy said, right? It's like fat people would come in to train, right? And his theory, his philosophy was there's no safety for you. This is not a place to come and be safe. We're going to shame you. And he told a fat guy. Guy was like doing yoga and his belly was sticking out. It's like, and he said to him, he says, "Cover your belly because I don't want to see it jiggle." Imagine a yoga teacher telling you that. Fucking get up and walk right out. Right? But it's okay because I would disagree. I wouldn't shame someone exercising. They're there because they know they're fucked up. They're in a bad situation. Someone walking on the street or sitting down eating. Whenever you see fat people with like ice cream in their hand, oh boy, that is grounds for shame. For shame. Look at you. Hey man, how's the ice cream treating you? I say that shit. But anyway, so fat shaming. So 2 types of diabetes, right? So if you got the first one, you need to take extra care. If you had diabetes as a kid and you had to take insulin, that's one problem. But if you got it late onset, it's almost certainly a fucking problem, right? And then you take these pills, and then what? You get cancer. Right? So what's the point of this? Take care of yourself, right? Fucking take care of yourself. Try something different. Right? Try to lose weight. Just eat less. It's not that hard to do. Right? When you get hungry, go out into the field. Go out and exercise. Right? And look at this guy, right? So we learned yesterday that the CDC is saying that what did the CDC say? Oh yeah, obesity. Obesity is a contributing factor to a higher mortality rate with COVID-19 patients. And as we know, this guy is obese. This cat is fat. He's a fat guy, right? This is Christie from New Jersey, right? Trump's right-hand man. He was hanging out with Trump, prepping Trump for the big debate, right? And he contracted, they believe, in that in those quarters, right? In those circles around the White House. That's how Christie contracted COVID-19 and then was in the hospital. So of all the people, of the 26 people in that circle, I won't rule out an attack. Why was there this very, very... why did COVID-19 suddenly leak into the White House? How did that happen? How did the whole circle within the White House get it? Well, maybe it's just an organic thing. Maybe it's the virus just making its rounds, which is likely. It's very undeadly. Right? It has a very low mortality rate. So maybe the virus was just making its way around and it finally got around to the White House. But Christie, let's keep an eye on him, enters second week in hospital for COVID-19. That is a long time to be in the hospital. All right, that is a long time. But again, he's obese. What other symptoms or ailments does Christie have? Let's see if we can find out something more. Christie, this is important to watch because nobody else has gotten sick. Trump beat the thing with flying colors. And everyone else so far, there's no reports of anybody being tragically ill, except for Christie. And not really, just that he went silent. He went quiet in the hospital. That's never a good thing, right? It's never a good thing if you're quiet in the hospital. If you're sitting in the hospital and you're doing okay, you're hanging out the window, throwing kisses, you're blowing kisses out the window to all your fans. Christie is entering his second week in the hospital, making the battle against coronavirus the most serious among those in President Trump's inner circle. I would agree with that assessment. The former New Jersey governor told the network that he has been treated with remdesivir, the same antiviral treatment Trump took while hospitalized. Sources have spoken with Christie as recently as Wednesday night, have told the Post and other outlets that he is doing well, but there have been scant updates on his health since then. All right, so Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, it's three whole days, man, when the whole world is watching you, former Governor Christie. Get out there and tell them, I'm fine. Or not. Unlike other senior Republicans who've been have had close contact with Trump, who are either convalescing at home or repeatedly taking tests to see if they've been infected, Christie has remained hospitalized longer than for the average COVID-19 patient. Christie tweeted on Saturday, 7 days ago, that he had checked himself in. So we need to watch that. On Thursday, his successor, Phil Murphy, told NewJersey.com that Christie is, quote, the quintessential Jersey fighter. Interesting, right? It's pretty interesting about Chris Christie. So what else we got here? We'll get into the... so let's watch a little Trump time.
Done hundreds, but
that interview. Dr. Siegel interviewed the president from New York.
Let's
Here
listen.
it is.
President Trump, welcome. This is not officially a televisit, though, as you probably realize, I've done hundreds. But I hope you'll indulge me and let you be the patient and I'll be the doctor here. And I promise you, no copay.
Okay.
Okay.
Sounds good to me, Mark.
So the first question is what we call the chief complaint, which is, briefly, how are you feeling now?
I feel really good. I feel very strong. I know a lot of people that have had the COVID or the China virus, as I call it, because it came from China. But I feel really, really strong. And a lot of people don't feel that way sometimes for a while afterwards, but very good.
What about symptoms that you had last Friday, like when you went into Walter Reed? What were the two most prominent symptoms that you had?
I think didn't feel strong, didn't feel really strong. I didn't have a problem with breathing, which a lot of people seem to have.
He absolutely doesn't look like a man who was just, suffering a deadly disease, does he? I think not.
I had none of that, but I didn't feel very strong. I didn't feel very vital. I didn't feel like the president of the U.S. should feel. And I knew there was something a little bit off. And the doctors at Walter Reed were incredible. They came from Johns Hopkins. They came from everywhere. It's good to be president, I guess. But
count how many times he says incredible, tremendous, amazing. This is fucking whole vocabulary.
They were really great people. But I would say more weakness than anything else, Mark.
You know, Mr. President, I got to tell you something confidentially. My patients never listen to me.
So his chief complaint, Trump, was that he felt a little weak. He didn't suffer from any of the other shit, the coughing and the choking and any of that. So that either says that he got a very mild case of it, or he was very strong, or it just didn't like him. The disease moved on, right? Because a lot of people had that. I certainly did back in February. I had that massive, nasty cough where you couldn't breathe.
Me. No matter how hard I try, they don't do what I say half the time.
Yeah.
Did that occur to you where the doctors were telling you something and you were negotiating with them, or did you just do what they said?
I did negotiate.
So Bill West is reporting that Chris Christie has left the hospital. Chris Christie. Let's find out. Chris Christie Hospital. Okay, I stand corrected if that's the case. Chris Christie released from hospital 47 minutes ago. Thank you very much, guys. Good catch. So Chris Christie released from hospital after COVID-19 treatment. Breaking news. Former New Jersey Governor Christie said he released, you son of a bitch, released from the hospital Saturday morning following treatment for coronavirus. Here he is. I'm happy to let you know that this morning I was released from Morris Medical Center. I want to thank the extraordinary doctors and nurses who cared for me for the last week. Thanks to my family and friends for the prayers. I will have more to say about it all next week, the former Republican governor said. So, pal, thank you very much for that. That was a good catch, man. Good catch, guys. Good catch. Chris Christie out of the hospital.
Negotiate, but ultimately, I have a lot of respect for these doctors.
Thank you.
They're really the best doctors, I think, in the
Thank you, Jimmy Crack. Jimmy Crack caught it first. Thank you, Jimmy Crack.
world. And
Jimmy Crack Cone, and I don't care. Jimmy Crack Cone.
Walter Reed, I've seen the work they do on the military and people coming in so badly injured that like you've never seen before. I have a lot of respect, so I really tended to listen, but generally maybe I wouldn't. But I did tend to listen to this group.
When you were in the hospital, what was bothering you the most? What were you feeling?
I just think that it was just you were tired. You were, it was just getting to you from the standpoint you didn't have that same energy level. And, my life is based a little bit on energy, and you didn't have it. And I don't know, it could have led to bad things from that point. I don't know. But I got lucky, I think, with a certain medicine. But it really was something. I took a certain medicine that was, very miraculous to me, I think. I really don't believe it's just in the head either. I think I really believe it worked.
Were you scared? Were you frightened?
Well, I took the Regeneron, and Eli Lilly makes a very similar medicine, but you have Regeneron, you have the Eli Lilly version of it. And it just, within a period of 24 hours, I felt very different. I think I could have left the hospital a lot earlier, but it made a tremendous difference, Mark. And
he was asked, "Were you scared?" That was the question. Were you scared? And he didn't. Trump didn't answer that question. I think Trump is very clear. He's getting so comfortable in front of the cameras. It's unbelievable. But I think that he didn't answer that question. Were you scared, Mr. President? These are all softball questions, but they're really good.
Markedly so, and I just felt very good. You would have sort of a sore throat, just to add to what we were saying, but I felt really very, very good after taking this for a period of time. It's a transfusion, not a shot, and I'd like to send it to everybody. In fact, I've said I'm going to send it to everybody that's got the problem, and we're going to send it free of charge, including seniors, of course, but we're going to send it to everybody.
Did you want to leave the hospital earlier than they said,
I
Mr.
did.
President?
They wanted to keep me for observation, they wanted to be sure it was good, but I did. I was there for, I guess, 3.5 days. They wanted to keep me, I wanted to leave after the first day. I really felt I was in.
So just the stats. Trump was there 3.5 days. Christie, we just found out, was there 2 weeks. So I believe Christie was the only one hospitalized. Everybody else is just hunkering down at home. So unless there's dead bodies somewhere, there has been a 0% mortality rate amongst the White House staff that got hit with this thing. 0. Nobody died. Nobody's chronically ill. The symptoms at best are mild. In fact, it looks like it's been a learning experience for everybody how to beat the COVID. What a fucking farce! What a scam! What a ripoff, man! What a ripoff!
Not bad shape after the first day. I think I would have been in much worse shape had I not taken this medication.
How long did they want to keep you, the doctors?
I don't know exactly, but they kept me for the time. I stayed for the time that they needed me. And they've done a lot of tests. They've done tremendous testing. And right now I'm medication free. I'm not taking any medications as of, probably 8 hours ago or so. I'm medication free, which frankly makes me feel good. I don't like medication.
Mr.
That's why if at all, if there's any lethargy in Trump's speech or nose or head or anything that makes you think that he's not 100%, it's because of the medications. He's taking a cocktail of all kinds of different shit, and that'll wear you down because it takes you off your game. It takes you out of your, it knocks you off your stride a little bit, just a little bit. So, but in terms of clarity, he's 97%, 98% right now.
President, if you would feel comfortable, can you tell me a little bit about the tests you had in the hospital? Did you have a CAT scan? What did that show?
Yeah, they tested the lungs. They have incredible equipment at Walter Reed. In fact, they said, no, you could leave your jacket on. That's the first that's ever happened. Leave your shirt on, leave your jacket on. I said, I'll take it off anyway if you want. But literally, they tested the lungs, they checked for the lungs, and they tested it with different machinery. They have incredible stuff that I've never even seen before. And it tested good. Initially, I think they had some congestion in there, but ultimately it tested good. And with each day, it got better. And I think that's why they wanted me to stay, frankly. But the CAT scans were amazing. The equipment was incredible. I've never seen equipment like this before.
Well, we learned this afternoon that the next presidential debate, which had been scheduled for October 15th next week.
Could you talk to me about when you went outside, Walter Reed, in PPE and the drive that you took and well-wishers and what you were thinking when you did that?
Well, I had tremendous numbers of people. I could hear them from the hospital, and I was way up high and, this very fortified military hospital that's, built to the highest standard, and yet through these very powerful windows, I could hear people screaming and shouting and with love, with real love. And after 2 days, I said, I want to go out and say hello to the people. And I went to Secret Service, and these are the people that are with me all the time. And they said, we have no problem, sir. I said, I just want to take a drive by them and just wave. And you saw what happened. It was a great display of love out there. I don't think there was one negative person. And there were many, many, many people. But I don't think there was anybody negative out there. There was just they went crazy when they saw the van go by, the car go by, and the people in were protected. They were very heavily protected because at that time I guess I would have been positive, but they were very, very protected, and they've been with me. They've been with me for a long time, and they understand. But they also thought it was very important. I thought it was very important to show my affection for them. They were standing out there 24 hours a day. You saw that. I mean, every time you'd be on television, you'd see them in the background. And I just thought, I love the people I love the people of this country. And I thought it would have been very disrespectful if I was there for three and a half days, and these people are there standing late at night, early in the morning, and I didn't go out and at least give them a little wave. And that's what I did. And I'm very glad I did it.
Mr. President, lessons learned from this, from your own illness, that you would apply to the ship, to stewarding the ship forward in the fight in the pandemic, and how you can apply it to other people that have COVID-19 and how to prevent getting COVID-19. Lessons learned.
It's such a great question. I think the biggest thing is that I did do it early. Now, I have such great access to medical. We have a White House doctor who's great, and you have so many great doctors. So it's a lot easier for me than somebody that's, doesn't have access to a doctor so easily, where it's a big deal to see a doctor. But, here we have them all over the White House, frankly. They're watching every corner. But I think very important for me was very early. As soon as I felt something, and, and I'm thinking about it because I see what's going on, and I have a lot of people are around me, even though there's tremendous testing, but a lot of people are around me, so I think about it. And I know there's a danger, but I can't be somebody that goes into a basement.
I was going to let it play. It's very interesting, right? I didn't hear it all the way through. It's fascinating. It's fascinating to listen to Trump, in my view, at this point in the game, because he's been attacked so many times. Just keep in mind how he's been attacked on his handling of the COVID-19 thing. And he's been telling you all along, he's been saying, don't be afraid of it. Don't be the, just let's move forward, right? And here's your evidence, right? They wanted to see him. I mean, the Democrats Nancy Pelosi would have loved to see Trump, viscerally ill with a fucking, a ventilator stuck up his nose, right? They all would have loved that. You could see Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi just hanging over a picture of Trump on a ventilator, right? But it didn't happen, right? It just didn't happen. And here is the president of the United States. He beat it, and that's the end of it.
And just hides in a basement for the rest of my life. I'm running a country, the greatest country in the world. So what I think the big secret for me was I got there very early, and I think it would have gotten a lot worse. One of the doctors said he thought it would have gotten a lot worse. I just think that even these medications, they're a lot better if you get them early than if you get them late. It will react probably better. So I think going in early is a big factor in my case.
Dexamethasone, I've given it to a lot of patients. I've given steroids to a lot of patients. Most have tolerated it well. Sometimes there's issues with anxiety or behavioral issues. Did you have any problem with that?
No, I didn't even know I had it. I didn't know what it was. It's a form of a steroid, but it keeps the swelling down of the lungs, as I understand it. And I tolerated it very well. I don't take it anymore, but it was pretty short term. During the course of the medicine, that was one of the medicines. And no, I think I tolerated it very well, Mark. And it keeps the swelling down, and that's important.
What are you taking right now as of today?
I think really nothing. We pretty much finished, and now we'll see how things go, but pretty much nothing.
So Trump confirms he is medication-free from his COVID-19 fiasco.
We had our final doses of just about everything. Actually, the original transfusion, that's supposed to last for about 4 months, you know, the antibodies. And I think you're supposed to be protected anywhere from 2 to 4 months, and maybe longer than that. I don't know.
Are you going to donate your own plasma, Mr. President?
Well, I will. Nobody's asked me that question, actually, but I will. If they want me to do it, I'd love to do it.
Are you tested? I heard you said you were going to test again today. Have you been retested?
I have been retested, and I haven't even found out numbers or anything yet, but I've been retested. And I know I'm at either the bottom of the scale or free.
When is your next test going to be?
I don't know. Probably tomorrow, Mark. They test every couple of days, I guess. But it's really at a level now that's been great. Great to see it disappear.
So I have a question, and this is my own fantasy, Mr. President. All of this back and forth controversy about the next debate. And if you test negative, and you've said you want it to be in person, how would you feel about a debate outside on Miami Beach?
Well, I'd have no trouble with it at all. In fact, when we have rallies outside, we've had no problem whatsoever. Outside is better than inside, as you know, with this crazy thing. And it's
they're talking about the outside, but Trump plasma. How much you think a gram of Trump plasma would go for on eBay, right? Trump, wow, donating plasma. That would be fascinating. And now here, listen up. Trump is going to call basically Joe Biden a cheater. Watch when he says, you can't trust Joe Biden in front of a computer screen. He'll cheat. Watch.
What's gone on. But I would have no problem with it. But, you know, we've always had a problem with this commission. This commission's been ridiculous, frankly. But who wants to do a debate on a computer? I don't. Virtual debate. No, you got to be there. We did great on the last debate. You have to be there. You have to see the person. You can't do it on a computer. Besides that, you know, Joe has a tendency to get the answers and read them off a computer for when he's asked questions. So,
right there, Trump calls Biden a cheater. You know what? The other thing, notice Trump's orange face is back, or at least his tan is back. So it looks like, unless he's outside, unless Trump is outdoors somewhere, unless he has access to some kind of outdoor thing, he must have some fine fucking tanning equipment inside the White House, because when he came out of that hospital, he was pale, and now he's got his brownish orange tan back.
I would love to do it outside. Would be fine as far as I'm concerned.
Well, maybe it's makeup. Maybe the whole tan thing is makeup. It's just Trump's makeup, and when he washes it off and he's pale again, I don't know.
Where do you think you got the virus? At what point do you think you contracted it?
This is a great question. Where did you get the virus? This is great.
Looking back.
You know, I don't know. They had some big events at the White House, and perhaps there. I don't really know. Nobody really knows for sure. Numerous people have contracted it, but, you know, people have contracted it all over the world. It's highly contagious. That's one thing you learn. This is a contagious disease, and generally you get better from it, but we also now have medicines that will help a lot. And if you look at mortality rate, I think it's up 95 or 85%, Mark. I think you've seen that. You pointed it out to me. What we're doing now with the medicines and all of the things is incredible. But, especially younger people, I wish they'd open schools. I hope they open schools. Some of the states are closed, and the cure is worse than the problem itself in many cases. It's a terrible thing.
Mr. President, a final message from you to America about what they can learn from your illness and your recovery, which many would say is inspiring. A final message.
I just have such great respect for the doctors and labs, scientists, the people that work on this. They're doing incredibly well. I have incredible respect and love for the families that have suffered so badly. This is something that came to us out of, I don't know, I won't be able to tell you yet. Maybe at some point I'll be able to report exactly why it came to us, but it came out of China. It shouldn't have happened. They should have never let it happen. But they suffered plenty also, far more than people understand. But this is something that should not...
John Perry Barlow Declaration, what's up, says, this is a good statement, if they can't tell who he got it from, I bet it was planted. I think so, too. I mean, I'm leaning more towards a plant. Although it's a mild form of virus, it worked for the narrative. The Democrats, see, Trump is wide open to corona. I don't know. I tend to think it was a bioweapon right from the beginning, or a fabrication inside of a laboratory. I think that's confirmed now that it was a little mix. But Trump alluded, he did not say for sure if he knows where it came from, and that's an interesting. That is an interesting stat.
Not have been allowed to. They should not have allowed this to come out to the world, not only to the United States, to the world. But I have such respect for the people that have suffered, and my sympathies to those families that have been so horribly hurt and just horribly hurt. And again, the respect for the doctors and for the technicians and for the scientists is incredible, because I've seen what they've done. And it's incredible the job that they've done in a short period of time. Over a 6-month period, the job that they've done is incredible. And you'll see that very soon with the medicines and with the vaccines.
Mr. President, I really appreciate that last answer and the interview, and I want to tell you how much it means to us that you appeared for your first on-camera interview tonight on Tucker Carlson tonight. Thank you so much for joining me.
Well, thank you very much, Mark. It's my great...
That was awesome, man. That was an awesome interview. Long interview. That was really good. Really good. I agree. It's softball. But nonetheless, so Trump's doing good, man. It's looking good. Well, here's another story. I should have did this one first because it kind of it takes everything in a different direction. But priest, you're gonna love this shit, man. Priest arrested for having threesome with corset-wearing dominatrix on church altar. Now, is that a bad thing? Is it really a bad thing for a man? A red-blooded man to have sex with corset-wearing dominatrix? No. But when you add in priest and church altar, oh man, that shit gets crazy, right? It gets whack, right? It's just a fantasy. That's probably his fantasy. He's been on that altar so many times, and he wanted to unleash his sexual prowl out on the altar, right? He wanted to act out his sexual fantasy, and he did. Shouldn't we salute him for that? Or what's the crime there? Is there a crime? Well, not really. Everybody was consenting adults. Tuck in your prudeness for 1 second. Right? Because he's a priest, he's not allowed to have a little whoop-de-doo. Right? He seems to be a young man. He doesn't look like an old guy, right? There he is. Right? His name is Travis Clark. So, and we'll see the two hookers. Oh man, it's fucking. Oh wow, she looks like a clown with the fucking bangs and the whacked out, eyebrows and the fucking metal sticking out of her face. I think she's hotter. She's a little hotter. I think the first one's a little hotter. Let's find out, man. I'd give it to both of them, I guess. Have mercy on us, O Lord. A Louisiana priest, so we're down in Louisiana, was arrested for allegedly filming himself having sex. Why are you filming yourself? What do you want a souvenir? You got to fucking film it? You fucking idiot. Man, now they got evidence. A Louisiana priest was arrested for allegedly filming himself having sex with two dominatrix on the altar of his Catholic church, a report said. This is crazy, man. What a great story. The priest, identified by Noal.com as the Reverend Travis Clark, was busted after a bypasser saw the lights on later than usual on September 30th and peeked inside St. Peter and Paul Roman Catholic Church in Pearl River. What the fuck is the person just, yeah, all right, okay, you see the church lights on, you want to see what's going on there, maybe a late night ceremony. Fucking stupid guy, man. Got a camera running, he's got he didn't pull the shades down. It's weird. It's a weird story. The unidentified witness, I'm not buying it, right? The witness was probably some other priest that wanted to throw the book at him, right? It doesn't sound like someone would just walk by a church and peek in a window. It's a little suspicious. The unidentified witness, somebody who wants his priesthood, they want to get him out of there, somebody who doesn't like him, saw the half-naked priest having sex with the two women who were dressed in corsets and high-heel boots. The altar was also adorned with staged lighting, several sex toys, and a cell phone mounted on a tripod that was recording the act. Oh, this guy's a deviant, man. I don't like dominatrix or any of that shit, man. I don't like that shit, man. I think it's fucking weird. Don't come near me with that toy, man. Take that toy and fucking stick it up your own ass. The witness took video footage of the unholy trinity. That was good. Unholy trinity, then called police. So the witness took video footage. So there's another video. Man, I wish we can get our hands on that video. Does anybody have the video of the priest and dominatrix, and two dominatrix on the Catholic Church altar? That's a bestseller, man. That's a fucking viral video right there. If you get your hands on that shit. Cops arrested Clark along with two altar servers. 41-year-old Minnie Dixon. 41-year-old. Cops arrested Clark. 41-year-old Minnie Dixon. She doesn't look though. She's 41 years old. Wow, that's a fine 41-year-old. 41 years old Minnie Dixon and 23-year-old Melissa Cheng. Yeah, she's the hotter of the two. Yeah, man. Put on that corset, bitch. So 41-year-old, how old is he? That's what I want to know. The cops reportedly told cops, the woman reportedly told cops, they were at the church to film role play with the priest. Cops determined, I don't know if prostitution's legal in Louisiana. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. The cops determined everything that went on that night was consensual, but arrested the trio on the obscenity charges because they were in view of the public. Really? In the view of the public? Why? Somebody peeked in a window with a camera? That's view of the public? Those charges will probably be dropped. Right? So the .com added that Dixon, funny name, Dickson, right? Added Dixon, who is also an adult film actress. So Dixon, which one? This one. She's a porn queen. What about Chang? What about her? I'd check out that video, man. Just see her in action, right? See what you're getting, right? Just find these videos, man. So I bet you if there's any porn people in the audience that like porn, look up Mindy Dixon. See if you can get your hands on a clip. Let's see what the priest is all. If he has good taste. Let's see the rest of the body. See if we'll see if the curtain matches the rug. The Archbishop of New Orleans, Archdiocese, visited the church to perform a ritual that would restore the sanctuary of the altar. So they had to do an altar ritual, right? The priest is getting his rocks off, and then they have to come in and do the altar ritual. And they cleanse the altar. Clark, who was ordained in 2013, was suspended from the archdiocese after his arrest. Funny story, man. But what's the moral of the story? If that guy was allowed, if priests were allowed to be married, right? Catholic Church, they don't allow their priests to be married or have consensual sex outside of the priesthood or any of that stuff. They're not allowed to have a boyfriend or a girlfriend or stuff, right? And I think if you just lifted that rule, Archbishop, Mr. Pope, just let them have consensual sex, and they won't be fucking on your altar. Right? They won't have these insane fantasies, and acting them out. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, man. So what else we got here? So I want to just talk about this briefly. I don't want to get too deep into it because it is a deep subject when you talk about censorship. The ability of large corporations to shut you up, shut me up, shut us up is very, very prevalent. So CaitlinJohnstone.com. How did people have conversations back before tech oligarchs were there to police them? All these companies want to police you. That's what they want to do. When they censor you, when they buffer this video or delete this video or shadow ban this video, right, of just average ordinary Americans having a conversation, right? One guy leading the conversation, we're having this conversation, and they shut you down. Right? That's censorship. That's censorship. In the old days, people would walk out to the public square and have a conversation, and that couldn't be censored. We still have that, but to a large degree, those types of conversations have gone global via social media. Right? That's how we do it now. We talk to each other. We tweet. We Facebook. We email. We message. Right? That's how we do it. Right? And all that stuff is subject to censorship, more so now than ever. Twitter has announced the rollout of even more censorship policies in the lead up to the November presidential election. Quote, starting next week, when people attempt to retweet with a misleading information label, a misinformation label? What the fuck is that? Misinformation label. They will see a prompt directing them to credible information about the topic before they can amplify it. Twitter informed us with credible information, of course, meaning information from the same mass media outlets who have lied to us about every American war throughout their entire existence, and who have lied to us about, the legitimacy of the Democratic Party's elections. The primaries are totally rigged, and quite possibly the general elections are totally rigged. We just don't know exactly how they're doing it. But nonetheless, so Twitter is what is credible? What is credible information? Because when it rolls out of the Washington Post down from the CIA, the official narrative, that's what we're expected to digest, and anything outside of that is fake. That's what they're trying to tell us here. That's what's going on, man. So Ben Norton, get ready for even more censorship of Twitter in the name of election integrity, says Ben Norton. He's a good guy. I like that guy. So this is just the latest in the stack of additional censorship measures that Silicon Valley tech companies have been rolling out in the open, in coordination with the United States government under the banner of protecting American democracy, protecting you. We may be certain that none of these measures will be rolled back when the election is over. Exactly. So they roll out the new measures because of the election, and then they keep all those measures in place, just like they did with 9/11. They rolled out all the extra security and the NSA spying on people. They rolled all that shit out. And when there was no longer a threat, they never rolled it back. or they jacked up the price of airlines and they took away the meal on the plane, right? Whenever they start rolling back shit in the name of security, they never re-roll it back where it's supposed to be. Right? As my regular readers are no doubt tired of hearing me repeat by now, when you are monopolistic tech corporations, I don't know what that means, which attracts the bulk of online communication coordinating with governments to censor speech, what you have is government censorship. The guy from Rolling Stone, Matt Taibbi, recently wrote, after the irrational Facebook purge of QAnon cultists, I don't know if they're cultists, this censorship regime is continually expanding, and this expansion is likely to continue, especially in the direction of those who oppose these same establishment power structures that are prompting this censorship. So corporations censoring the high fuck out of it. It's a very long article. I'm not going to read it all, but that's fucked up. So now Twitter, when you go to Twitter, it's going to have a message that says They're going to label this probably not credible. Would you like to confirm its credibility with one of our established thing? Is that the way people talk? I imagine having a conversation with somebody and somebody steps in and say, no, that's what that person just said is not credible. We would like to interject here and tell you what is credible so that you can continue to have your conversation safely. It's bizarre and ridiculous and totally unnecessary. So let me. I gotta kill this, man. I'm gonna try to wrap this up. So now, on that note, this is a very interesting catch. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but what I'm seeing is fucked up. North Carolina College, a college, issues shelter-in-place order after Black Lives Matter moral threat. What the fuck? A shelter-in-place order after a mural was threatened? I thought the shelter-in-place was to protect people from illness. You see how they switched how the goalpost is moving? Now, according to this headline and according to this report, shelter-in-place orders were put in place to protect a fucking painting. Not to protect you, not to protect your health, but to protect a mural, a painting on the street. That's crazy, right? Students and staff at North Carolina College were told to stay off campus and shelter in place Friday because of the threats demanding that a Black Lives Matter mural be painted over. That just defies the whole point. The whole fucking shit just got thrown in the garbage over that one, right? So shelter in place. Remember? Shelter in place. Stay at home. Stay safe. Stay at home and stay safe is the order, right? Mandating stay at home, shelter in place to protect yourself from the virus. No. Now it's to protect yourself from some bad people that want to paint over a painting. Administrators at the University of North Carolina, Asheville, issued a shelter-in-place order. And you know what that means. In a university, if you don't follow the order, they expel you from school and they take your money. They take your tuition money and all your fucking, all the monies that you put in and your family put in, and they take that and they kick you out of the school because you didn't follow the order. So it's not without consequence. You can't protest. See how they stuffed the no protesting. Protesting is now illegal. It's not illegal. It's just that if you want to go to our school, then if you protest, we'll kick you out. Or if you want to come to our school, you got to have the vaccine, because if you don't have you don't have to have a vaccine. But if you want to come to our school, you have to wear the mask. You have to stay 6 feet away from each other. And when the vaccine comes out, you better be in line for that vaccine. And we got to see it go in your arm, or we'll kick you out of the school. But it's not required. We're not saying you have to. It's just you can't come here if you don't follow the exact rules. That's a form of communism. That you can say that is a communist agenda for sure. So. Administrators at the University of North Carolina issued a shelter-in-place order on Friday after several offices at the public college received an email containing a direct threat to the community. So someone puts in a threat, all right, direct threat to the community. Whoop-de-fucking-do. To paint, that they're going to paint over a painting, that's a threat? You feel threatened by someone throwing paint on the floor? It's not like they threatened with guns and violence. They threatened with paint. The email demanded that the Black Lives Matter mural on University Heights on campus be painted over. The notice reads, "A decision has been made to send a bulldog alert to all the faculty, staff, and students to shelter in place until further notice. We ask that employees other than essential personnel stay home, stay away from the campus today." Unbelievable. Unfucking believable, right? So they're using, now you're seeing in action, you're seeing the mechanisms put in place during this fake pandemic now being used to keep people down. to keep people away from their school, from their restaurant. What next? Oh yeah, there was a suspicious plane flying over the Adirondacks. It could have been a bomb. Everybody shelter in place. That's where we're going with this. Right? That's where we're going. So anyway, last story, and I'm going to bounce. So poll, which correctly called 216 election, sees another shocking outcome. So just briefly, these are all the fake polls. These are the aggregate polls reported for a while. So you got them all. Economists, these are general polling. If you look, The Economist, Fox News, Reuters, CNN, CNBC, Reuters, Survey, all of them, right? The Monmouth, New York Times, they're all here, and they all have, every single one of them have Biden winning by 9, by 9, by 10, by 12, by 10, by 12, by 8, by 10, by 16, by 3. IDP has Biden by 3. Hill, 7, 14, 11, 5, 8. Blowouts, right? Biden beating Trump in blowouts, right? But those are the fake polls. Those fake polls were in almost exact when Clinton, during the Clinton Hillary versus Trump, right? And all the polls had Clinton. Just replace Biden's name with Clinton's name. It's almost the same a rerun of the last election. But we have a very popular sitting president, Donald Trump. And you're telling me that most people are going to vote for Biden? It's totally ridiculous. Totally fucking ridiculous. Gut feel, because we don't have legitimate statistics anymore unless you're going to do the poll yourself, which I actually did. I polled people in Washington Square Park once. I did an actual poll of 100 people. I went in the Democratic primaries, and they all were breaking heavily for Bernie Sanders. 2-1, 3-1. Bernie Sanders, with a close second was Elizabeth Warren. And who won? Joe Biden was getting like 5 out of 100. And Bernie Sanders got like 40. Elizabeth Warren got like 28 out of 100. And Joe Biden won. So fake poll. Real poll. That was a real poll. Fake election. So what it's basically saying is this, is that the people that the people that predicted. Let me just read for a second. The predicted markets imply 67% probability of Biden winning on November 3rd. Additionally, those markets suggest that Democrats will win both Senate and House, 68 and 88 probability. So according to the fake polls, the Democrats are going to sweep everything. They're going to win the White House. They're going to hold the House. They're going to win the White House. They're going to hold the House, the House of Representatives, and they're going to take Senate, according to the fake polls, by insane numbers. Senate by 66 and retain the House by 88. My prediction is that Trump wins re-election. The Democrats retain the House, and the Republicans retain the Senate. That's how I see it. I don't really know, but I think the Senate is very close, because the Senate there it's like 52-48 or 53-47. It's very, very tight, and that could swing. So in the following election review, Camelot Profiles, we look at what some of the polling firms that called 2006 correctly are seeing today. Shockingly, their polling suggests that President Trump will be reelected either narrowly or by a large margin. Therefore, Camelot notes, quote, capital allocators today cannot easily assume next month's results. Yeah, all right. Well, there's a degree of improbability. Listen to this. It's very possible that Trump will win Florida, North Carolina, and Arizona. If so, a win in Pennsylvania, which is very close, or Michigan, which Trump is going to win, will likely put him over the top in the Electoral College. That's what I've been saying all along. You'd show me how Joe Biden wins the Rust Belt. Add to Pennsylvania, Michigan, add Ohio, Wisconsin, right? How does he, or even, again, like Trump wins Trump clearly wins the Rust Belt, right? And I don't see how Biden flips it. And then they make some kind of contradiction. They make some sort of correlation between the fact that the markets are way up. What are you going to blame Trump for? Right? So anyway, Marcus Conte reporting, man. Getting a little groggy right now. I got to get outside in the air, man. I got to get outside, man. Fucking outside in that air. Thank you, everybody, for joining me. Thank you, everybody, for joining me. Marcus Conte reporting here. Thank you, everybody in the chat. Oh, shit, I lost my music. I lost my music. Yeah, dude. Hey, listen, thanks, everybody, for joining me. Thank you, Vinny DiMartini on the wrench. Thank you, Sterling Price, for the moderation. Thank you, everybody, for bearing with me today. I'm just a little sluggish. I didn't sleep very well. I was up all night playing with Granny Cat. Granny Cat was losing her mind. I'll blame Granny Cat for my lethargy. So thanks, everybody, for joining us. TJ Austin. And tomorrow I'll probably be out on the street. Again, my days are numbered here in New York City. I'll have more to say about that. Not that it's like I'm somebody super important, but I got to get the hell out of here, man. I got to find some sanity, man. I can't deal with the mass hysteria anymore, and the crowded subways. And I'm over it, man. I'm over it. I'll still be a New Yorker.